for you and for me. If you want. Right. That's a beautiful song there done by the late Michael Jackson. May his soul rest in peace. And for us as well alive, may the one and only God make it easy for us and save us from this pandemic happening around the globe right now. As it's so very horrible that yet there's no vaccine. And there's been no cure so far for the pandemic going on, killing people and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, may it be easy for us to fall. So today we're going to bring you a very beautiful, and we have one of our doctors who's going to join us later today, Dr. Muhammed Fadara, who will be live online from his working place, from the hospital, I mean, to say. But before that, I'm going to allow my guest here, my co-host himself, to introduce himself. Yes.
Good evening, viewers out there. First and foremost, I would like to give thanks and praises to the Almighty Allah for giving us life, good health, to witness today as well, I am your man, Lamin Lf Darboe. Like I said it here previously, that I am a youth activist, and I am part and parcel of the youth advocacy program, the youth advocacy program. As my colleague Ali mentioned it, that today our discussion is mainly going to be centered about this global pandemic that is going on right now, So I thank you all.
Yeah, you are. All right, listeners, of course, it's Kekus Kalma, okay? We're hosting right here from our studio, the Youth Camp TV, right here at Saladi International, CBEC, and Gambia Banjo. Some people get confused, they feel like Sierra Leone or we are like in Nigeria or elsewhere, but actually we're in the Gambia as it takes right now. And most of our things we're doing right now, we are right in the Gambia. And we're just making sure like we covered a lot of things that we see like on news that is happening within Africa, because our aims and objectives is not only meant for where we are at, but it's meant for within the continent as a whole, Africa, or beyond Africa anyways. Today's conversation is based upon like, because right now like we have countries that are going on but Africa, when we look at like currently the Gambia is under coffee for 21 days, which starts at 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning hours. And then we have Sierra Leone as well. They too having coffee, and the rest of other places. But yeah, we want to talk about first, we focus on like where we are at right now. We're going to talk about the Gambia right now, the situation so far going on with the coffee, and that of how it is out there at night, and how the security personnel are treating us, most especially with the youth, because we are the most stubborn people when it comes to a lot of different things. When it comes to law, they talk about the youth. When it comes to peacefulness, they talk about the youth. So then we want to know exactly how the situation is going on around. Of course, I myself been going around at night because the government here made a means like we the media guys should be out there to observing the situation, how it's going, and to showing people like there, because already there are fake videos going around like this is what's going to get on. But anyways, in the midst right now, before we talk to Lamin Lf Darboe, I think Mr Muhammed Fadara is here, and then we're going to join him right now. Anyways, in a couple of minutes, the doctor himself is going to join us. He's trying to connect. But anyways, yeah, as we were discussing earlier on, the cases right now, the second waves of the COVID-19 is really crazy right now in the Gambia as it takes right now. The cases are increasing instead of decreasing, which is very scary right now. But then we are very happy like the government is putting on measures in place, in other words, to tackle it, to getting rid of it. And that we are really, really hoping that there will be a very good result at the end of the day. Because it's very scary, even for all of us. You know, it can be him, it can be me, it can be anybody else, it can be you watching us, you know. So but really, really, we're hoping like after the coffee, after the 21 days, and the state of emergency, that a lot of these things are going to get reduced. And people who are sick to report themselves like they haven't this, they haven't that. In other words, it can be more easy for the government to tackle these situations. So yeah, Mr. Lamin, I'm going to start with you at your side because where you're living at and that of where I'm living is a bit distant. Mm-hmm. But then you might know probably like what's going on because I understood like markets are being closed around, they open up in the morning hours and then they have to close at 2, something like this. So tell me how is the situation going there? Are people complying to this thing?
Yeah, actually, you know, first and foremost, I would like to, you know, extend, you know, my sincere gratitude to the entire public for showing, you know, respect to the law and also for maintaining high sense of discipline towards the current situation. Yeah, actually, from the area I am from, it's like, you know, people are responding to the
okay.
Because around my side at Brikama, you know, normally by before 2 p.m., you know, even yesterday I was at the market, I went to do few shoppings at the market. Okay. But by the time I reached there, it was around, let's say, 1:30 and the like. Okay. Most of the people were just packing up and then trying to, you know, close everything before the actual time. Okay. So that shows that they are showing high sense of discipline towards what is going on.
What is going on right now? Okay.
So people need to be commended. Wow. Another way around,
that's
also,
a lot of applause. Yeah.
In another way around, also, you know, if you look at it, it's like, you know, for me personally, I think that, you know, a lot of people are also, you know, facing difficulties because most of the people before 2 exactly, they all try to rush to that place. So the place seems somehow, I mean, it becomes like, you know, a lot of people come there at the same time, you know, because all of them want to buy foodstuffs before the actual time.
So like trying to yeah, and all these kind of things. The market will not be close getting what they need.
Yeah, and that is happening actually. You can also see like some people, you know, who doesn't care, you know, and want to make this pandemic a profit-making thing. You understand? Stuff, yeah. So most of them also, you know, you can see the price of things, you know, actually, you know, before the COVID-19, how you were buying things, you know,
and that now,
and now
a couple of changes.
You understand? Yeah. Because there is a huge change in it, you know, because price of things, you know, actually you can buy something for $20, but you know the quantity that you are going to get, or I mean, it's going to be
it's far less. It's far less than the quality used to be before. But anyway, that aren't you thinking like I think like government need to release people to be doing monitoring service when they talk about this prices issue, because you know, exactly what's happening. We have folks, yeah, that normally takes advantage when there are issues like this, when there are disasters, yeah. When there are I can say. It happens in Sierra Leone when there was a war, and then after the war, you know, some people who are up there already, they have it. So they try to make it difficult for those who don't have it, yeah? So they try to make some changes within themselves. Apart of the government being approving it to be done that certain way. You understand what I mean? So then, don't you think like government involving in releasing people to monitor in this situation?
Essential, you know, you understand?
Yeah.
Well, you have to look at the things in angle, you understand? You have to look at the things in 2 ways, because most of the time also, if you look at it, you know, the reason why is well known to them, but most of them also, you know, is because if you look at the time, 2
that is given,
the 2 that they are closing also, you know, most of their food sources that are perishable get perished, because when they are not finished, you know, when people don't buy them, you know, for example, tomatoes and
other stuff,
yeah, like, you know, onions and like pepper and other stuff that easily get spoiled, you know, if they are in the market and all of them don't finish, likely they will get spoiled. And when there is scarcity of these things in the market, actually the price
It becomes problem and
yeah,
becomes
yeah,
high
the
as well.
price will also become
So
high.
so then what are you looking at? What are you trying to say exactly about these kind of situations? For your aspect, what kind of solution you best thinking like is good? Like people themselves can help other people to survive in it. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's not all of us have the means to go to the market and sell. Okay? But then we are like the people, and those people in the market that are sacrificing to do those stuffs, it's their business, it's their office, it's their place of getting their daily income and survival. So what do you think necessary best they can do to helping us and we too to be helping them? Because if you can have your goods without having a customer, and then it's useless. But then if you have your goods and then you have us as customers, and then it's meaningful, right? So don't you think as well, like, because for us it's a priority that we need to get it.
Yeah.
No matter how, whether it's expensive or not, because we need it at the end of the day. It's just like you need a bag of rice, you have to go get it from the market. Because you knew very well that you need rice at the end of the day. So if you don't go out and get it, and then you're going to end up being starving yourself and your families. So how do you think it is necessary, like those people at the market can really help us?
It all depends on changing the way we think, our mindset.
Yeah.
Because everything is very important. You understand? Like most of the time, that's common in us as Gambians.
Okay, sorry to cut you off. Ladies and gentlemen, now Muhammed Fadara, the doctor himself from the hospital, was like to join us live on Facebook to connect him. But as the situation takes right now, the line is too bad for him at work where he is. He's very too busy. But then he wants us to do it on WhatsApp call. I think that will be pretty okay. We can put it on loudspeaker, connect it here, and then we get his message he's going to give to us, and then we have someone to interviews we're going to do with him. In other words, they are the expert at this particular time of the pandemic, and they are the front liners. Like we are the back liners because we are just like monitoring situations. Like we the being activists and being the journalists, covering a lot of shows around as well going on, and they themselves are right there. They are at the hospital with this patient. They are at a very high risk when we talk about the doctors. And that's why when governments are trying to play with them, we don't feel okay. Because you don't play with people that protect or saves lives. That's a priority, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This should be like a priority for government to take care of those people. They should not be stressed. They should not be pissed off. They have to be treated nicely. And this is the time mostly the doctors and nurses are needed to be treated most preciously. Like I heard of an issue in Sierra Leone. The doctors were not paid. They were like, their money were being held for like a couple of times, which was very not too okay. Because if those people are not okay, and then how can they be happy to treating people? Most especially at a situation like this, where in this the pandemic, that nobody knew the cure for it. They are just taking certain things that they thought it can remedy the situation. They're compiling things together. It's like, when we did science, when you want to do chemistry, it involves a lot of what? Practicals. So likewise with physics and other stuff. So this is exactly what's happening. The doctors, the nurses are really applying a lot of effort. They're finding things, in other words, they thought like it can work. And this is why a lot of people that we are quarantined, at the end of the day comes out, you know what I mean? Those who are positive, they can come out now at the end of the day, they are negative. It's not like they are perfect, no, but it's about they taking them time, to understanding like, okay, this combination can help out cure this a little bit. But then they cannot come out to tell you that's the cure. So, but then the government within Africa or the world itself at large need a momentum like showing these people, treat them like one of its kind ever in the world. Because WHO himself is yet battling to finding a solution. You know what I mean? Of yesterday I was reading something on the news like the Russians are like trying to get a cure, something like this and this. All right, gentlemen, we're going to pause 1 minute, and then the doctor himself is calling me right here. I'm going to join him right now. Oh, okay, he's got off. So, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor himself is calling, so we're going to connect him now. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Muhammed. Can you please introduce yourself to the people to know you who is on the line?
Yeah, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Good evening.
So tell us, where are you calling us from right now, and where are you stationed right now at the moment?
Currently, I'm calling from my residence in Brikama.
Okay. So, sir, tell us.
Yeah, I'm on off.
Okay. So right now, tell us, because we understand the situation right now is so crazy. More especially, we're looking at the world, but as it takes right now, some other places have managed to put in control, to put in certain measures in place. Like they haven't yet, there's no cure yet in the world, but they have managed to rumble the situation in a way that, like Greece and instant I can make. Now they have tourism activities going on. Okay. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, we are still at a range of struggling, and more especially right now, the way the situation is in the Gambia, it's so horrible. It's like we have a second wave, because everything was like now was cooling down, but now here is a situation we are in. The pandemic is like boom. The cases are becoming so increased that we are all scared right now, and the government wasn't having any other options but like to say, hey, you know what? I think we need to go on a state of emergency, and then we need to take a break. We need to take coffee. We need to. And so tell us now, what are your specialty like? You guys are the front line. You're the medical doctors. What is it been like so far?
This 3 or 4 factors.
Okay. Oh, the line. Yeah, we are getting you live. Yeah. We are very sorry for that. That's the doctor. We cannot link it through. Okay. Are you there? Mr. Mohammed?
Yes, are we there?
Yeah. We are getting you live. I know the connection is a bit crazy.
Definitely, it's not easy. The pandemic is also raising the communication levels here.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, so we are getting you.
Yeah, that most of the time it is about 3 or 4 factors.
Okay.
That may be responsible for the severe outbreak in the Gambia currently we are facing.
Okay.
1 is acceptance, 2 is adherence, and 3 is precautionary measures.
Okay.
So when I say acceptance, it's like the people in their own mindset in the Gambia has to accept that coronavirus is a real thing.
Sure.
And that's what we are facing as health workers, to convince people that this virus is real.
So that's like a very big challenging thing right now.
The most challenging, of course. That's why it comes at the topmost of the list.
Wow.
Because the ordinary Gambian don't want to understand that the disease is different from finding funds.
I see.
So it is very difficult for them to come to terms to accept that the coronavirus is existing, is real. This is what it can do. The fatality rate is high. The comorbidities are also high. And when I say comorbidities,
yeah, we're getting you. We can hear. We're listening.
When I say the comorbidities, I'm talking about another condition that exists in your system before the coronavirus comes in.
Okay.
Especially pneumonia, asthma, diabetes. Most prevalently, these are the existing morbidities that it exists with in the human system.
Okay.
Now, once you have those kind of conditions in your system, you're giving the immune system to go down. Therefore, the virus will have more raging power to damage the system, and then eventually fatality happens.
Wow.
So most of the people who recover from it have very strong immune systems, 1. 2, they may not be living with those pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
So the virus alone doesn't just have the power, or may not have the power, to damage their system much more, leading to fatality rate. Okay. That's why if you give them some antibiotics or antivirals and other remedies, they tend to recover and then they go home.
You go home, okay. So because those things that you're giving to them helps fight against the
it boosts their immune
it
system.
boosts their immune system as well, so it can become more stronger to fight against this virus or diseases in the body.
Very well.
Yeah. So like Mohammed,
And
there are complications. Sorry to cut you off. There are complications of things that we want to clear here on the media. You know, social media is very kind of funny thing, and it's very important. Like it helps us to get a lot of vital information and other stuff. But then again, it's weird. Like some people spread more negative as well on social media. And then there is this case of like I remember, you know, the vice president of the Gambia was positive and then was like in quarantine, and then she has been released. Which I think it was yesterday. She was being released out. She came out. She was tested again for the second time, and it happens to be negative. But then there were comments like people were raising. You know, I think you remember I took a screenshot of a picture and I tried to share it. When people were trying to say, come on, our vice president is just making up story. She doesn't have any coronavirus. She's having malaria and a common cold. Because these are two common sicknesses in the rainy season that everybody do have. So what do you have to say about this? Because now, like you are saying, the people are stubborn to understand it, like, yeah, to accept the acceptances like you are talking about. I appreciate that. Like to accept that, yeah, this is a pandemic and we have it here. It's real. And now, here is a case, people talking about like, this person is not having corona, it's a malaria. This person is just having the cold. So how do you have to see this and urging these people saying all this kind of thing? How do you want to put it?
Yeah, but scientifically, the malaria symptoms are different from coronavirus symptoms.
Okay.
Malaria symptoms don't affect the respiratory tract infection or respiratory tract.
Okay.
The common cold or the flu affects the respiratory tract. Likewise, the virus of coronavirus COVID-19 affects the respiratory tract. That's why when there is sneezing, there is coughing, there is fever, there is sense of smell, there's loss of smell, and every other thing.
Yeah. So because these are like...
But if you have malaria...
Go on.
If you have malaria, you don't cough.
Yeah. That's true.
You don't sneeze.
Yeah. That's true. It's only when you have
like...
you can sneeze when you have common cold, something like this, right?
Yes. So how can you say that person have malaria when you don't even test that person to say he has malaria?
Yeah.
No, the person doesn't have COVID. He's starting to have malaria plus common cold. That's COVID.
Yeah. That's true. But then again,
I'll tell you what. Couple of days ago, a unanimous person died in his car 2 days in the vehicle without unnoticed.
Oh my goodness.
Just at the Sabasuda Johnson, from Sukuta going towards San Sabasuda, at the Johnson, the person died in his vehicle for 2 days unnoticed.
Wow.
Serious death.
That's serious.
Serekunda Market reports 2 cases. Yes, Serekunda Market report 2 cases of death just walking and then falling down. Dead corpse.
Wow.
So how can the people not believe that everything is possible in this time?
That's weird.
Malaria is only tested or confirmed when you have laboratory tests.
Yeah.
Which can be ready within 5, 10, 15 minutes at most. The coronavirus test goes for 24 hours at most.
Okay.
So there are 2 different things people should not confuse themselves with.
Exactly. And then sorry to bridge in here. There is something else somebody was trying to ask me a few hours back. Like, Kekus, what are some of these potentialities that the government had put in place towards this testing issue? Like, you are a doctor now, so I want to take this advantage to asking you this. Because you guys are running both private hospitals and you're dealing with as well with the government at the moment right now. So we want to know as well how this is going. Because we've seen cases like America, you know, we are in the test kit was like becoming an issue as well as some other places, you know. So but right now we want to know our status in the Gambia, like how this testing is going and how things are working out as well for us. That we can have confidence that, oh, okay, there are things going to be in control because now we have a lot of testing equipment and all these kind of things. So, yeah.
Okay, as of now,
yeah,
the Ministry of Health is trying to be very precautionary in terms of number of patients they can test in a day.
Okay.
Because we don't have the facilities to prolong or test the whole Gambia at a go once. No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The bigger nations, America, the England, the France, the Germany, they struggle with it. The Russians, right, to make up these test kits to be able to test people. So a poor Gambia, where we live on tax revenue economy, you don't expect us to have that amount of funds to be able to buy a test kit for every Gambian to test. That's why the ministry is very careful with the number of people that they test. They make sure they present clinical signs and symptoms of COVID-19 before they can be able to test. But they're not going to waste the test kit on people just with common cold because they think it's COVID, and then that becomes a wastage. Now somebody who needs it doesn't have it.
That's true. That's really, really true. You are very, very right.
That is why the government is very, very careful with this, that they have to make sure those who they are testing have clinical signs and symptoms of the COVID-19. There is high fever, prolonged high fever, there is coughing for more than a week or so, there is sneezing, there is loss of taste, that's anorexia, there's loss of smell, you don't smell anything, because you have a blockage in the nose.
I see.
So and there is fast breathing, or there is difficulty breathing.
I see. So and then I want to allow Lamin Lf Darboe. He's saying like he has a question he want to put through you right now. As you are a medical personnel, as well you are an activist for youth. You are very devoted. So now he has one question there he want to ask. Let me just allow him at a moment. Yes.
Good evening, Mohammed.
Yes, Mr. Darboe.
Yeah, I just want to ask you this question because I get an update that right now most of the people that are really affected by this virus, you understand? Mostly it is the nurses and the doctors themselves, because I saw a report. Somebody sent me a report that at Brikama Hospital, you understand, health center rather, about 23 of their staffs laboratory tested positive, you understand?
Yes.
3 of them are doctors, plus a recording clerk, something like that, and also the rest are nurses. So what are some of the challenges, or what are the reasons why doctors who we believe,
Treating people
to be treating people, you understand, against this virus are affected by this virus itself, And what are some of the challenges that you and all the other frontliners are facing? That's the question I want to put out.
Okay, trying to narrow your answers down. I put it to option 1, or like Roman figure 1. The unavailability of the PPEs, that means the personal protective equipment, the unavailability of it, like in quantity bulk, because most of them are reusable ones. So the number of patients you are seeing at an outpatient department, or the number of patients who are coming to you in an inpatient department, may not clinically present signs and symptoms at that manifestation time. But they can have the cause being from the thing. Because there is something called asymptomatic.
Okay.
You understand? So the case
sorry, Mr. Doctor. Can you break it? Yeah, I'll be like where you going at?
When we say asymptomatic, doesn't present the symptoms, but they still have the virus in them, because the strongness of their immune system will stop the virus from manifesting the symptoms that this person has COVID.
I see. Okay.
Those are called the asymptomatic patients. Now, the symptomatic patients, those ones have the weak immune system that they easily manifest symptoms of high fevers, difficulty breathing, anorexia, that's loss of taste of appetite, and there's coughing and any other thing that has to do with the symptoms of COVID-19.
Okay. This.
So if you go to the outpatient department in
go on.
If you go to the outpatient department in Brikama, or the hospital in Brikama, the test kits or the preventive equipment put in place for those health workers who are in the front line there, dealing directly with patients may not be enough. So they also try to strategize in a way they can best use it. So before they realize that some of the patients who come to you are already positive COVID, becomes too late.
I see.
Because Brikama, they don't test. Even if you find a symptomatic patient, you only have to refer. So during that time, before you realize, the 5 minutes you spend with the patient can transmit the virus to you.
To you yourself.
So before you realize, you become positive. Yes. So that is why most of the nurses and doctors on.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Mohammed. So now, like, you understanding these kind of things, like you to be specific now, you're very. Of course, I know you're a very smart doctor because you're an activist as well. So you know to mingle it, to understanding and walking away from that kind of incident. So what's your advice, or how are you guys watching and handling this kind of thing, not to be repeating itself over and over again? Because now that it's understood, like because of waiting for this for like a period of just 5 minutes or so, and then it's easier that you the nurse or the doctor can be affected. So what are some of these strategies now that have been like in place so that this cannot be continuing again and again and again and again?
Yeah, that's where we call it adherence. That's my second point of talking, adherence.
Okay.
The population have to adhere to the rules and regulations put in place by the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
That's a very important point where this transmission can really help us, because we have already put certain strategies in place. Like before you reach in the health center, they check your temperatures and do everything. But my worry there is somebody who comes even doesn't present high fever, but the person starts coughing and has a little bit of dyspnea, that is difficulty breathing. Most of the time there is a side room or a place that is created for a little quarantine center to keep you there until they make sure everything is sorted out before they can have contact with you. Now, if they're not sure of your condition, that's when they call the COVID-19 response team to come and pick you up and then take you for sampling.
I see. All right. Sorry to.
So
Yeah. Go ahead. Explain. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So those who are put in those places are already being trained, I believe, because we are trained to be able to deal with the cases like those who come to you with those coughing, and then make sure you, the one who is sitting down consulting them, already be in your gears. Have your mask, have your goggles, and then you have your gloves on you. And please give a meter or two difference between you and the patient that you are interviewing. Yeah. So by then you can be able to, at least give yourself a space. Subjectively, you can ask the patient the questions, and then he will respond to you. So if you suspect any other malpractice in that case, you'll be able to defend yourself quickly.
Okay. One last question, and then we let you go now because you're a very busy person, and then we don't want to take too much of your time. So there is this thing we want to clear on the media right now, as it takes right now. As it takes right now, we're under two things. We have coffee in the Gambia, and then we have state of emergency. But all of these things are being done there by the government in order to protecting us as the people. But then I want to ask this question again. Are we late, or we are never too late to tackling this situation like other countries have already done? Like now, we are not like the biggest tourist countries when you talk of tourism stuff in Africa, the world at large. Let's put it that way. Because some percent we are having tourists, and like 90% we have tourists. So now, other countries who have managed to tackle in these situations, like hearing of the likes of the Netherlands, the Denmark, the Finland, and even Greece right now, which is currently on operation of their tourism system is running and boosting. So what's your take? Is it like the government is late to taking this situation right now, or this kind of action that he has taken so far, or is never late? We are still to work on it as people. Give us your final take on that, sir, and your advice to the people.
There's a saying that says, better late than never.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's better that they do it now
than they never do it.
Lately, than they never do it.
Exactly, sir. That's
because putting the consequences it might, or the repercussions it might lead to, you may not want to affect the higher population.
Sure.
So putting up the curfew and the state of emergency if adherence and precautionary measures are put in place or are respected by the populace, which we are finding it difficult to do, because our ordinary youths are the very people who are pioneering. They're hearing complaining in public vehicles. This marks distorts me. You know, they only put on the marks when they see police officers.
That's true.
I ask myself, why do you have to be afraid of afraid of a police officer instead of afraid of a disease?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Going to kill you.
Yeah, something that you cannot even see.
You don't even see. With a blink of an eye, you contacted the virus.
And the most funniest thing that I'm observing, and that again, that a friend of mine from Finland normally tells me is like, there are some people who are like, because I think so too, because that's not something I even need to ask you. Like, there are people actually that are affected with this virus, and then still they're walking around, roaming, you know, without them understanding that they have this within them. So that again is becoming an issue and very spreading of this shit around all of us, and it's making it scary, too scary. You know, like normal things to getting back will not be easy if these people are not showing up. You know, to making sure that they are being treated. So one last word that I would like you to be talking about, because I saw recently from the Ministry of Health on Twitter, I saw that they were like saying they gave some like series of list of things, like if you are sick initially, how to yourself to tackle these things, to be taking these certain things home, and then you can only go to the hospital if it is very too high. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. You know, it's a list of things, you know, like you need to be doing when you are home, you know, if you are feeling some way funny and all this kind of thing. But then if it's not at all because of the oxygen that you don't have at your house, if things is like becoming worse, and then you go to the hospital. So what's your take on this, please?
Yeah, those are self-remedies that one can use at home if you think you have those signs that we're talking about.
Okay.
But I think all in all, people have to understand what it takes to have this virus, living with it, and then coping after this virus.
Okay.
One, we have to accept that it's real.
It's real.
Two, it is spreading fast. And three, we don't have a cure for it. We only have remedies to tackle it. Those remedies will help the immune system to grow, to be healthier, so that it can fight disease.
Sure.
You understand?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, the face masks that we are wearing is trying to reduce the transmission rate.
For me,
I hope you understand my point.
I got you very well. To help reduce it instead of like giving out to a lot of people out there. You know, it happened yesterday when I was out, because like observing within the area how people are all, you know, taking these preventive measures. On the coffee, of course, you've been seeing the pictures I've been posting on the page, because we have been allowed to like, observe the situation at night. And then there was this guy, he was just next to the police guy. He started sneezing, and I was like, I said, these are the reasons that they ask people to put on the face mask. Because now, let's say if you have a common cold, we all understood very well. Without corona, like when you have fresh cold, it's easy to spread when you sneeze. You know, so I was like,
talking about
can I give you a breakdown of how when somebody sneezes, the number of droplets that you can drop in a second or in a minute?
Yes, please, you can teach us as well out here, because we are almost not medical experts. No, we have the idea of what probably might going to tell us. Yeah.
Yes. When you're talking,
yeah,
you can drop from 45 to 60 or 65 droplets, just a mere talking. Now those droplets can contain viruses that you never know how they can spread.
Wow.
Now when you cough, you can drop from 100 to 400 droplets.
Wow.
And any second that you cough.
That's double of
multiple. Now, when you sneeze, yes. Now when you sneeze, you counting from 1,000 to 45,000, even to 100,000 droplets.
Wow. That's like that's like over multiplying the situation.
So that's why when somebody who is coughing, even not in the COVID time, give the person space and make sure it's our own responsibility as individuals, responsible individuals. Please, those who are listening, if you're entering vehicles, please don't be closing the window, the car windows. Allow air to flow in as it should be, because The person who coughs and sneezes, you may not know how much the person is carrying or what the person is carrying, how much it can transmit to you people inside the vehicle.
That's true.
So social distancing should be respected.
Sure.
We should avoid mass gatherings because those are places that one can cough and it's in the air. How many people breathe?
That's true. Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammed.
Before you go,
yes, before you go, Mr. Lamin Lf Darboe want to say something because now we have not very more time left.
Yeah, so Muhammad, what is going to be your advice to, because I chat with most of these people, especially the youths. So most of them also have this concept, like even if you have only malaria or when you have common cold, you go to these hospitals, or health centers, they will just tell you that you are infected with this coronavirus. So what's going to be your advice to these people? No, that's actually the truth because most of them,
that sounds funny. That sounds funny. I'm not laughing at your question, but what you said about the question makes me laugh.
Yeah, not even going, to the hospitals because I've seen a couple of people who were sick.
One thing that I know is,
this is what they used to say.
Yes, Mr. Muhammed, yeah.
If you ever go to the hospital, just less than 30 minutes, somebody looks at you and said, you have COVID. The person has no proof.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might present the symptoms, yes, but the person has no right to tell you you have COVID. Unless and until you are tested.
Yeah.
You understand? And that testing is done at the national laboratory facilities in Kotu. Every sample is taken there, analysis are done there, the results came back.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, please.
So I can tell you as of today to confirm to you that in our facility we have people who are already positive, but later they turn out negative because they were tested positive, they were given remedies, and the immune system helped them. Now they are okay. They are going back to work next week. I spoke to one day before yesterday.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yes. So the youth are the problem in this country, if I can say, because we don't want to listen, we don't want to adhere.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Muhammed. Thank you so very much. And then before you go, like now you've saying, Mr. Lamin has heard of that very well as well. Thank God we are all youth activists and we are in this battle together. And then we've started this journey. We have a long, long journey to go ahead. As it takes, we are taking all this risk and then we have more risks to take ahead. Because now we understood that for us, the youth, like I started earlier on measures, in anything we are there. When it comes to negative, we are there. When it comes to positive, we are there. And then I think Mr. Lamin Lf Darboe will have to conclude on that issue as well. So, Mr. Muhammed Fadara, we just want to give you a conclusion of a final word that you can give to us now, and then we'll let you be at least. What will be your final message to us here, all, and those that are watching us from different places as well around?
What I can say right now is advice to myself and everybody who is watching and listening from the group that we have to take COVID very seriously and we have to listen to our health experts when it comes to any other disease that may prevail, not only COVID, but in this era of pandemic of COVID-19 raging the world right now, every other social measures or precautionary measures put in place by the health experts has to be followed to the latter. Social distancing, trying to reduce the rate of transmission, we have to pioneer as a Gambian, everybody. We should not only say as health personnel should lead the way and then we follow, no. You should tell the health personnel that we want to lead, that by stopping the COVID, I want to be washing my hands every now and then, stop shaking my hand. I don't want to be sneezing in public. I have to put on a face mask in public. Thereby, you are making the work of a health worker very easy to be able to help track this disease down and control it at one place. Control the virus. Global responsibility to help stop COVID. Stay home. Stay safe.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Fadara. Thank you so much, and we truly appreciate. You have always been there. You've been working a lot as a young person, and then you are. I'm so very proud of you. I have to be honest. I'm so very proud of you. And thank you so much. May Allah bless you guys and stay safe out there as well. And be careful with some patients at the hospital. Thank you so much.
I will be. Thank you.
All right, take care. Have a blessed evening then.
You too.
All right, that was so amazing. As you all have heard from our experts, people that knew, people that are on the front line right now fighting this awful pandemic, people that are risking their lives, you know, they are over risking their lives, that it is of their duty that they have to do it. In other words, to protecting us all. Because I'm not is not a doctor. Probably not all of you that might be watching us are doctors or have the experience. But all we need to do, that I believe in, like you mentioned, is like believe in it and taking the precautions, taking the preventive aspect is better than the curative aspect. To my side, that's what I felt. You know, and then I think together in this we can get a solution at the end of the day. So, and then Mr. Lamin, let me just come up to you. Like Mr. Fadara was mentioning, like most of the issue now, more specifically here in the Gambia, like the folks that are not really ready to be committed on this issue are youth. So what do you have to add towards this? Not only youth now for Gambia, but youth within anywhere, any part of the world where you are, because that's our job and that's what we are doing. We need to talk to each and everyone, no matter where you are from, whether Europe, Asia, Middle East, wherever, we are all, as far as a youth, you are in that category of youth. So our message needs to go across. So Mr. Lamin Lf Darboe.
First and foremost, I would like to thank God once more again. I am a youth. I'm talking to my fellow youths. You understand?
Yeah.
Muhammad made two things that are very important. First, which is acceptance.
Yeah.
To accept that the virus is real and it is in the Gambia here. Most of our youths, you understand, don't believe that this virus is existing. You understand?
Yeah.
Or even if they believe that the virus is existing, but they don't believe that it is in the Gambia here.
Okay.
Because I do chat with most of the youths, and most of them, when you talk to them, what they will tell you, right, this virus is curable. You understand? So even if it is here, it is not affecting us. It is only. Could you imagine? Even today, somebody I overheard a youth, conversing with his fellow youths. You understand? And then he was saying that this virus is only a state house virus. You understand? Actually, honestly, you understand? So those are things we have to, let go of. You understand? Second thing he made mention is the precaution method. You understand?
Yes.
A lot of youths, they don't believe that, second hand, can spread this virus. You understand? Most of them don't even bother wearing the face mask. You understand?
Yes.
And anytime they come, they shake hand with you, you abstain yourself from second hand, most of them will feel bad. Even not only the youth, even elderly people. You understand? So these are things we have to, let go of, We have to believe that this virus is actually in the Gambia here. And then whether it is killing or not, whether people are recovering from it, the best thing we can do is, you understand, to stay away. To stay away from things that can easily make us contaminate or get contaminated with this virus. You understand?
Yes.
So that is an issue I want to put across to my fellow youth. Remember, we are the cream of our nation. We are the future. You understand? We are the ones who have to build our nation. We have to move this nation, from where it is right now to the next level that we are aspiring. You understand? So, and we cannot do this in the absence of good health. This is why, even if a lot of people have to, abide by this preventive method, the most people who have to, follow this WHO preventive and precaution method, and us, the youths, because we are the backbone of our nation. You understand?
Yes.
And then secondly, also, I'm calling on the government, our sisters that are left stranded in Lebanon.
Yeah.
You understand? The government have to do something to help them. It is very, very devastating and frustrating. You understand?
Yeah.
So they need help. Let them help them to bring them here. When this virus newly entered in the Gambia here, you understand, most of the countries, even these European countries and other stuff, they send in, flights to come and pick their citizens.
Yeah.
So if our citizens are crying for help there, it is the responsibility of our government to please help them out and to bring them on board.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darboe. But that's a very big problem with us in Africa. There are some countries that really can do it. But when you talk of Africa, that's a major problem that I've started not today. And that's the difference between us and the Europeans and the Americans and other parts, because they are very curious. It happens recently in Sierra Leone. And the Lebanese, they did it. When the corona was becoming something else in Sierra Leone, they had to, they sent a flight that took their citizens. Some who want to go, they went back home. America did the same thing. England did the same thing. But Africa, I'm afraid, is another topic for another day.
No, but that is why we are backward, because we don't value ourselves. And we have to value our own self, you understand? If you are not proud of your people, you will only be proud of others.
That's truly something really we're asking government within Africa to really help out. We have sisters not only in Lebanon, to be specific, we have some in Kuwait, we have some in Niger, we have some in other countries as well that are really going through a lot. I want to tell you something very clear. If governments are taking responsibility to going in for loans that is being granted to them, which is billions of dollars that is being given to them, why not requesting for 2 flights, which will not even be up to $1 billion, to go and take your citizens and rescue them? But then, that's another topic for another day. As it takes right now, we don't have more time in our midst. And we are very happy to be bringing this conversation right here, right now, and every moment, and every Sunday. But then for now, we just have to leave you guys as it takes right now. There's no more time in our favor. And thank you so much for watching wherever you are at. And we're hoping that you continue to join us every Sunday at 5 p.m. I am your host, Kekus Kalma-guide, and with me, I'm Mr Lamin Lf Darboe. Thank you so much, and for now, we want to say tata.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.